Did you know they let banks put mortgages on black people in Florida? You don't believe me? Let's check the statutes. See, in 1842, the Florida legislature had a huge problem of people taking loans from banks on the slaves that they owned, not paying on those mortgages, and taking the slaves and running to other states. Now, as we see here in the text, resolution called. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, the Hip Hop Lobbyist. I appreciate all y'all who've tapped in, patiently waiting for your boy to get back on the channel. And guess what? I decided to say today's one of those days. And respectfully, while I wait for some people to trail on in, I know it's bad business that, you start streaming, you start building a community, and you all of a sudden out the blue have a stream, say you're gonna put up a schedule, and you just never post again. And honestly, I wouldn't call it a sabbatical. I'll just call it taking a break from politics, right? As you know, people that have been here before, I am a professional lobbyist in the state of Florida. I've done it 15 years, and I've enjoyed it. And I think that having a special session in Florida early in January, a super long extended session, legislative session here that went down to the wire in June, I was tapped out. I mean, I went on vacation, went to Punta Cana, celebrated my anniversary, adjusting, putting my son in or child and going from daycare to a regular school. He's still 3, but VPK for what it is, still trying to get the schedules right, but it's an adjustment. And I turned 40 this past Monday. My birthday was Monday, and I said, you know what? I just need to take a break from politics. I know that Trump deployed a National Guard. I know that we've redrawn Texas maps. I know that it's been a lot, but I've been like, you know what? I don't have the energy or capacity or the time to say that. And I have clients too. So the client work took priority. So family, God, family, client work, and life. And I just told myself, like, bro, I'm just not in the zone to sit here and chase Trump headlines every day. I wasn't in the zone to honestly sit back and say, I want to put a time into a dedicated show for a fan base that's out here to say, hey, yeah, let's grow together. Let's go. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna give you a schedule. And it's like, listen, I have life. I have clients. I have a community. I have real life. But all to put together, it's an excuse. It's an excuse to say, I've been busy. I haven't prioritized this community. My apologies. But for what it is, let me take the shot off. For what it is, I guess I'm back. And I appreciate everybody who's tapped in with the channel so far, who's liked. I've lost some people, which is understandable. This guy says he's gonna post every day. He hasn't posted. Where's he at? Hip hop, we looking for you. Nowhere to be found. It's one of those things, right? So I get it. But I appreciate y'all. But let's get in today. My quick intro for those that are here. Happy you're here. Al Sharpton, Poverty Pimp #1, has a protest going on in Washington, D.C. And it's not Washington, in Wall Street, excuse me. And to me, I'm not opposed to having a protest or march. Cool. I don't understand why you're marching on Wall Street, to be honest. Because to me, respectfully, unless you're teaching people about stock options, trade options, whatever Open Doors doing on the market, the volatility there, what are we going to Wall Street to go beg for what? The banks to give us more loans and mortgages and allow black people or people of color, persons of color in this world to have access to wealth? The lineage of what we say the American dream is that what we're pushing for? It's like, I don't understand the mindset of someone saying, yes, let's march on Wall Street about DEI. And I think as a people, sometimes we may be so lost that we say, you know what? Yeah, that shit makes sense. I'm gonna go down to Brooklyn. I'm gonna go down to Manhattan and I'm gonna go march, right? Well, I want to tap in for the people that are actually speaking out here. Let me switch over. Oh, that ain't it.
And they will not.
The people out here who are actually chatting it up on the streets of New York for this. Let me switch over my vertical. 1 second, y'all. Hold on. Oh yeah. Let me straighten this out for y'all. Still don't have it together. We're gonna get it together. All right. Now again, they are in New York. New York. Concrete jungle. Let me fix this up. Hold on 1 second.
17 million people had not just been put out of their work. This is what's going on. They don't think that we see them. But we
Turn it up on my side. Hopefully we don't have too much feedback.
And all the job is to make sure that that does not happen. They have to understand that the White House that they're sitting in was built by people that look like this right here. Now that's a fact. If we take a look at who we are and what we built as a country, that
Chris, I appreciate that. I don't think it's a good idea.
that has anything to do with democracy.
I think that if they try to eliminate property taxes, great question. We'll see that local governments, rural communities, they will be hurt the most. And I think that when you look at law enforcement, we talk about defunding the police, that, let me turn the lady down a little bit because I want a competing voices. Give me 1 second. I think that if you get to a point of removing property taxes, eliminating property taxes, and I believe Marjorie Greene said something in Congress about eliminating on a federal level as well, I think it hurts communities. I think it hurts rural communities. I think it hurts not only Democratic communities, but Republican-led cities as well, because there's a base of money that goes to police, that goes to firefighters, that goes to whatever it may be, parks included, and they want to eliminate that and only keep provisions for, they say, police, firefighters, water, roadways, and cut everything else out. But what is everything else? I do think that there is some government waste, but you can't just take away property tax and expect that to be the end all be all solution. I think it'll really cripple and hurt the state and possibly lead to us having a state income tax. And like a person I spoke with from Connecticut who moved to Florida recently, they have a vehicle tax. So you actually have to pay another additional tax just for having a vehicle in itself. So I think that that will be a pain and a burden that it'll create in Florida, and that'll maybe make some people move out of Florida. Maybe not now, but in the next couple of years. But let's get back to this. I appreciate the question.
Us today, no justice, no justice.
I get so tired of this chant sometimes. I won't even hold you. I get so tired of that chant.
All right, how you doing? How you doing, New York? Are you ready to fight? Are you ready to win? I'm Melanie Campbell, and I am here.
Go ahead, Ms. Campbell. She is geeked up.
Look, New York, y'all know how to have a march, and we march.
Let me get my social stream together, because I'm not getting, I know what I did. I didn't activate my YouTube. My bad on that, y'all. Let me get y'all chat up on the screen for what it need to be.
We will not go back.
All right.
We built this country. Black and brown.
I'm gonna get to the comments, and I'm streaming on Twitch as well. Hip Hop Lobbyist on Twitch.
We are America. Say it with me. We are America.
Hold on, I'm having some technical issues. I'm gonna get to the chat in a second. Y'all. Hold on.
We will win, and we will send it all the way. Look, we built the White House. You just borrowing it, baby. We'll be back. Peace and power.
See, and I actually like what she said at the end.
Let us now welcome
because it really is a feature of saying that, you know what, we got to vote again.
Incorporated and the
even though they cheating.
Treasurer of NEA,
to be fair.
Dr. Stacey N.C. Grant and Noel Candelaria.
Good afternoon.
Hold on, let me get back to the chat real quick. Appreciate y'all tapping in.
As a nation and as a people, I'm reminded of Proverbs 21:15.
I don't know who's lying, yo, but appreciate you tapping in, though.
Evil people are ruined. I'll say it again. When justice.
Damn, that's crazy. You got a good old hater in them talking about EBT, STD infested type vibes. You just see the racism in the chat just popping off. Mr. McMovin, I appreciate you, man. Oh, we got some of this. Wait, my bad, y'all. Had a people on Twitch. Let me get this chat back in since we got it working. We got some racism in the chat. I wouldn't even call it racism. I just call it ignorance. How about that?
So while we may be on Wall Street today,
because I don't understand where you get EBT at, baby. Where do you see EBT, STD, and all this shit that you said in my chat? Where do you get that from? I don't understand it. I'm just watching Al Sharpton. Not you, Joshua. This is guy Mr. McMovens. McMovens. I just didn't like the comment. I just didn't see the EBT, STD, infested type vibes. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the sister. I didn't come here to chastise the sister. So I'm going to keep my personal comments there. Appreciate you, Chris, for tapping into the stream, though. What my boys in the chat talking about.
And do you know that what What he had to do to threat to march was an executive order stating that there should be no discrimination.
Let's say Zavi Simmons coming to the people.
Government or before.
I appreciate you, Knight.
August 28, 1963, as we know, more than 200,000 demonstrators took part in the March on Washington.
Appreciate you. Make sure y'all like and subscribe.
Which successfully pressured.
Damn, see, hey, they be out here.
Together before, just like today, in 2025, this March on Wall Street is to stand up for economic justice. I am the proud vice chair of
I don't believe that.
9 Council of Presidents and the
I don't believe
international
that.
president of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and through the extraordinary power of she, social, health, and economic justice, we tackle and head on the root causes of economic justice.
I'm gonna tell you this. Hold on, and all respect to this lady, I'm gonna be real with you. This isn't teaching economic justice. You know why? There was a brother named Isaac Suffering. I believe he went to Hampton University, used to play basketball, and he started a YouTube channel. And he taught people actually how to chart the stocks and understand, you know, what the it was options trading for what it is, but understand the volume, the intentions, how to chart, how to map things out, understand, like, that is helping at least understand. If I'm going to Wall Street, shit, what are y'all doing with GameStop, AME, Open Door, all these other meme stocks out there that people are buying and making millionaires? I think that helps you get to the conversation. This to me is like, okay, we're gonna go complain about shit that we can't even go to the floor of Wall Street to go change. We can't go put nothing in today. If they're making money, losing money today on Wall Street, you can't do shit, right? If they change the interest rate, increase, decrease, whatever, you can't do shit about it. We're not talking about the real economic development, which is education, educating the kids. And I wish that the people that are out here, my Latino friends and my white friends and my Jewish friends and everyone out here, but check my black people, right? The people that they're going off in the comments, you know what I see? They're saying misplaced anger. Okay, cool. What I would love to see in this situation, to be real with you, y'all have this passion about educating our kids. Don't blame it on the government. I wish y'all would show up to this, like the after school reading programs, like the, not just saying when the shooting happens or something crazy happens in our communities. I'm not saying show up for a candlelight vigil. I'm saying show up that not only the first day of school, but that second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth week, that first 9 weeks, let's make sure that we educate our kids. And the problem is, we have people, the problem is, as Josh is saying, we're being led by poverty pimps that don't even know what the fuck they're doing. Why are we marching on Wall Street to attack DEI? They'll go talk about, and this is what people will say, oh, we're doing this because, you know, Target remove DEI. Well, if you want to be real, go check the charts. Target price has been going down since March of 2023. In January 2025, it just hit another notch from one price zone to the next, and it's dropping. And I'm not saying it's coincidence, because guess what? March 2023, you know what that protest was for? Them putting too many LGBTQ clothings and unisex clothings in their store, and people started to protest, and the stock price started to drop. And the wave came back up, and now the black people is mad at me. So I'm not saying it doesn't have an impact. What I'm saying is this is misguided in some aspect. But I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Let me get back to the man speaking. I haven't let him speak, but he's going in.
And economic justice, and today we are here to call the same. The dream of Dr.
The problem's always on.
While our students are
I have a problem where
schools are taken of their resources.
And I understand. Don't get me twisted on this. Let me mute this guy again. I guess I'm not gonna get him any time to speak, right? I think the issue is, I understand that this government, this United States government that was built, this country that was built on the backs of black people, I completely get that. But what I also get is the fact that we can't expect this government to give us shit if we don't know how to operate within it. We can't just say, hey, Cannon, we can't just say, hey, we need government to fix these problems. If we can't identify the problems that government needs to fix, if we can't tell government, yeah, go change statute 172.2196 regarding this bullshit and change this, amend this statute and this provision, because this is the impact it's going to have in our community. This is the impact it's going to have on the businesses and everything else. We don't want to have all that, right? We just want to argue and go back and forth. But what I'm going to do respectfully is, whoever this next speaker is, we're going to give him time. But if first time here, again, I took a sabbatical from politics for a while, right? I'm a professional lobbyist for what it is. I took a sabbatical because I was like, listen, it's too much politics. But let me get back into the next speaker here. Attorney Ben Crump. I know him personally. I still call him poverty pimp for what it is, man. I gotta call it straight, man.
This is civil rights. Economic justice is civil rights.
You're right. Go ahead.
Economic justice is civil rights.
Go ahead. Talk that shit, Ben.
Economic justice is civil rights.
Go ahead.
Economic justice
Is that all we're gonna
is
say?
civil rights.
Is that all we're gonna say on the mic? Let's go.
Sisters and brothers, I was talking to Reverend Al, and we both agreed.
But y'all ain't doing shit.
Worse than how they killed George Floyd.
Why are we bringing up George Floyd talking about economic development? Let's go. Let's talk about it.
Breonna Taylor.
Why is Breonna Taylor in this conversation about economic development?
They lynched Ahmaud Arbery. Worse than how they killed Trayvon Martin.
What does that have to do with economic development on Wall Street?
It's how they unalive us economically every day in every city in every state.
So why are you not talking about redlining?
America.
Why are you not talking about
So we
redlining?
say to you, economic justice is civil rights.
You're yelling for no reason, Ben. Man, you yelled your hot top off, bro.
Economic justice is civil rights.
It doesn't make sense what you're saying.
Economic justice is civil rights.
You're not talking about the wages. You're not talking about people's living. And you're not talking about the middle class. You're not talking about the roads, the infrastructure, or even the ability for somebody to be able to pay for a tutor, the economics to pay for a tutor to help their child read in school, man. What are we talking about, Ben? Shut that shit up, please.
America's Attorney General.
Please shut that shit up.
I'm going to make the case in 3 points. And if you don't remember anything else I say, sisters and brothers, I want you all to remember this. Financial freedom.
Go ahead. Talk that shit, Ben.
Helps make all of the other freedoms more than just a dream.
How they gonna get financially free if they can't read, Ben?
Maya, they have to understand
How to read.
that economic justice makes all the other justices more than just a dream.
I'm tired of the bullshit, man. You bullshitting these people with
And
bullshit,
sisters
man.
and brothers, my Lord,
Let me turn my lights on, man.
having equal opportunity at
I got a mobile light in this bitch. You right.
access to capital gives us a better chance at generational wealth where it's not just a dream.
What does Breonna Taylor have to do with that, though? That's a whole different story.
Stand up for our black children's future. We have to be willing to speak up for our black children's future.
Yeah, you need to be able to teach the kids how to read.
To fight for our black children's future.
Listen. Look, I'm
Because
gonna let
we
Ben.
ain't
I'm gonna let Ben
willing
stop, and I'm
to
gonna say
fight
my shit.
for
I
our black
apologize.
children's future. We can't expect nobody else to fight for our black children's future. Are y'all ready to fight?
You're not ready to fight, bro. You're not ready to fight, Ben. You're not ready to fight, man. Because, you know what, let me mute this nigga now. He about to lose his breath. Let me tell you now, the issue with Ben Crump is you don't have this passion to go down to the same schools on the south side of Tallahassee to teach them kids how to read. Get up out your damn suit and tie, nigga. Let's talk the shit for real. You and Chuck Hobbs, you fat ass in Tallahassee, who want to poverty pimp the bullshit. Why don't y'all go to the south side of Tallahassee and help these kids learn how to read? Why don't you go throughout the whole state and teach kids how to read? The key to economic development isn't going to Washington or isn't going to New York City to march on Wall Street to talk about some shit that kids don't even know how to read. You're not teaching these kids how to do no charts. You're not teaching these kids how to understand price action. You're not teaching these kids how to do shit besides placate the bullshit. You are a poverty pimp. Hold on. Alan Williams, don't call me about this shit. Alan Williams, my dog, don't call me about this shit. I'm telling you now. Your homeboy, Ben Crump, isn't going to the south side of Tallahassee teaching these kids how to read. Your homeboy, Ben Crump, is all about himself with the bullshit. That's why he can't go in a t-shirt and some jeans and look regular like a regular. He got to dress it up and bring up Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, talking about economic development. Why don't you go teach like Isaac Suffering and teach motherfuckers how to read a chart and understand what's on the stock market and how shit actually goes? Why don't you talk about cryptocurrency and AI and technology? See, the problem is we have Ben Crump and these other poverty pimps out here who just want to tell us about the past. You can't go back and get the past. Guess what? We can't do the shit they did in the civil rights movement anymore. And this is exactly what's happening. We feel that a march is going to energize people to go back in their home and they ain't got no damn money. Be like, you know, I spent all day downtown on Wall Street marching about justice. And I ain't got shit to show for it. And the problem is, for 50 years, for 60 years, we've had the same niggas, Al Sharpton, now the new Ben Crump. All these niggas put together. Excuse my French, but fuck it, I'm gonna be real, right? Y'all keep saying the same shit. What have you done to fix it, Ben? I ain't talking about no scholarship for no kids that made it to college. I'm talking about the kids in 3rd grade. Because you know the school to prison pipeline. So what are you doing? Are you spending your afternoons? And all these people that you gathered in, are you going to Brooklyn? Are you going to Harlem after this? Are you going to any borough in New York to teach kids how to read when they get out of school? Or even in school? Why don't you go do the background check and the volunteer checks for all you doing? Don't just chase the ambulance and the police cars looking for the next fucking hit to go viral. Why don't you go down to these fucking schools in New York today, leaving Wall Street, go down to Harlem, go down to Brooklyn, go down to these kids, go down to the south side of Tallahassee, where the fuck you from? They go teach these motherfucking kids how to read. You don't want to do that. You want to talk about the bullshit of niggas dying because guess what? That's all the fuck you have is poverty pimping. All the fuck you have is poverty pimping, and we tired of this shit, man. If ain't nobody gonna tell you to your face, Vince Evans, Alan Wayne, you make sure this nigga knows that I know that the poverty pimping has to go. Go down and teach these fucking kids. Let's go, man. Cause I'm tired of it, but you can't just blame it on the white man and the government and Donald Trump for all this shit. Cause the shit's been happening. The shit's been happening. And it's not just Democrat, Republican, it's all over the fucking country. It's nigga shit. Then you got this foundational Black American shit.
Okay.
Come on, my bad. I'm gonna let the next person speak. I've been talking and let me check the chat. I appreciate it. If it's first time here, I'm normally this passionate. I'm normally like this all the time. And I took a break from politics again because I had to take a break. I'm about to go get some water, let this white lady speak for whatever she has to say about economic development. But however, let me know who you tapping in from today while I go get my water. While I refresh, I'm gonna put my light on, my logo in the back. And I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. It's your boy, Hip Hop Lobbies. Let me get my light work.
Must be about fairness. This country must freedom. This country must be about
there we go.
and what workers do.
Did that look a little better? Let me know in the chat. I'll be back.
So what's happening today? The reason is because we are saying to the billionaire class, we are saying to the people on Wall Street, you need to be fairer. You need to fight for all of us in America, not just yourself. We need legislation that creates a workers' tax cut. We need health care that includes more people, not takes people off health care. We need a job program that has better jobs and better pay. So that is why.
Hey, what's going on, Sheila?
And so many other people are scared.
I support y'all.
What we're doing is standing up, showing up, and speaking out. Are you with me?
No, sis, we ain't with you, boo. We ain't with you.
Strengthen.
We ain't with you. I appreciate y'all tapping in the stream today. About 300 people here, man. Appreciate y'all.
We need college.
Make sure you like and subscribe for more.
Are you with me? We need health care that is affordable.
Democrats all failing, I'll give you that.
We need Social Security that is there for our children and our grandchildren. Are you with me? This is not a radical agenda. This is the labor movement's agenda. This is our agenda. This was the agenda in the 63 March. Are you ready
Hey,
to
Deja.
fight for it? Are you ready to
Dejuana,
fight hard?
I appreciate you.
Are you ready to speak out? Are you ready to show up? Are you ready to stand up? Are you ready to vote?
Somebody called me an angry Trump supporter. That's another thing. I'm gonna stop there in a second because what I realized, I'm gonna make sure I clip this second. All right.
At this time, the Northeast Regional Director of National Action Network and professor at Vanderbilt University and notable author, Reverend Steffi Bartley and Reverend Dr. Michael Eric Dyson.
I'll let these brothers speak real quick. Then I'll say my piece. And I'm gonna tell you why I stopped streaming for a second. I'm gonna let them talk.
Justice! When do we want it? When do we want it? Let's give God a hand of praise.
Thank you, everybody tapping in the stream today.
First rodeo being down
Let's hear what the people got to say, man.
Our foreparents walk down here every day to build.
Hey, let's keep the F words out of here, not the F fucking, but the other F word. Let's not drop that in here, please.
That we want to continually be included. DEI is
is a part of our lives. How dare you shut us out? And we want you to know that we're not going to sit back and allow this to happen. We're going to fight until
it's already happening.
It's about it, because the scriptures declare, if my people that are called by my name humble themselves and pray, seek his face, he's going to heal our land. And so our land is going to be healed. Thank God, no justice, no peace.
I'll be real with you. We need to get out of the situation where these pastors who don't know politics are preaching bullshit. I'm tired of it. Go sit your ass down. Who's the next one?
Let no petty, petulant,
there you go. The thesaurus himself.
President,
Mr. Thesaurus himself. Michael Eric Dyson, doctor.
We have the most unqualified.
Here we go.
Incompetent.
Here we go, Thesaurus.
Nitwittery.
Come on.
Nincompookery.
Okay.
Dumbassery.
Okay.
That has prevailed in this nation's history.
All you need is a little bit of preaching to get black people going, man. Well, Michael Eric Dyson been doing this shit. He been poverty pimping up bullshit too. Mr. Thesaurus himself.
The goal is justice. The goal is democracy. You didn't want us to have reparations. You didn't want affirmative action. And now we conceded the legitimacy of DEI, and you don't want that.
Right.
What you don't want is black brains.
Right. And here's the thing, Michael Eric Dyson, same thing to you that I just said to Ben Crump. Are you going to leave Wall Street in this suit that you have on? Will you go put on a t-shirt and some shorts and some pants and be regular, look regular, and go down to Brooklyn? Go down to Harlem. Go down to the black communities that you care so much about. Are you going to go teach those kids how to read? Why don't you go buy somebody mama groceries today? So you got it. Why don't y'all talk about economic development? You know how much if you go help a mother, go put $400 worth of groceries in 4-5 mothers' houses right now. You know that'll help them for the next 3-4 months? Let's go talk. Let's go speak truth to power instead of going through the thesaurus of bullshit because you educated and you got the doctorate. Guess what? The kids in the hood that want to be a doctor too. The kids in the hood that want to learn to read to be better too, but their situation isn't helping. And you just talking about the bullshit isn't helping them either, young nigga. What we talking about? Well, you an old man. You an old nigga now. Get the fuck out the way, man. These super educated passe prime love to get in front of the camera for a dime. Niggas need to go. Stop marching and protesting about the bullshit and show up where it actually matters. Thank y'all for showing up to the stream today. Make sure you like and subscribe for more, man.
He is our leader.
No, he's not.
Continue.
Reverend Al Sharpton ain't nobody's leader.
Stay woke. Don't stay asleep. Stay woke.
Kids in the hood do want to be doctors. Kids in the hood want to be better. We can't think that the bottom of the bottom, because guess what? The kid in the hood could be black or white. Don't just think it's a hood, it's black. There's some poor white kid in the hood that wants to be a doctor or a lawyer. Get your fucking racism out your mind, baby. Let's go. Let's talk this shit if we're going to talk this shit. Because guess what? It's white people, Hispanic people, Asian people in the hood too. It's not just black. I appreciate you, James. Appreciate all y'all. Let's not just make it. Don't think hood and think this. Don't think this. Let's be for real.
The hollow grounds of our ancestors, and we demand reparations now and reparations forever.
Are we serious?
We want reparations for slavery.
We went.
Reparations for every Sambo.
Go ahead.
For every bad.
Go ahead, Foundation of Black American. Go off, brother.
Image that they made for us.
Go ahead.
We want reparations.
Go ahead.
They stole housing from us.
Go ahead.
They burned down
Go
Black
ahead.
Wall Street. We want reparations for our children.
Let's go.
And our children's
Let's
children.
go.
And if we don't get reparations,
Let's go.
then we should be out here as often as we possibly
That's right. Doing not a damn thing.
Our ancestors demand that we be here.
Let's roll. I'm gonna mute him real quick. How you gonna get reparations? Tell me this. How much is the state of New York educating or allocating towards your child's education right now? What is the amount? What is the amount that your state allocates towards your per pupil child education right now? If you can't tell me that, you can't tell me about no damn reparations. It's about $12,410, I believe, roughly in that area in the state of Florida. Right? If you can't go tell me the amount, don't go tell me about no damn reparations. I'm tired of this. Like, the part of it, black people, we want reparations in a system that we haven't even known to master. Let's be for real. When was the first black congressman after reparations? Hello? When was your first black senator after reparations? Hello? Who was your first black president after reparations? Oh, we finally catching up. Well, guess what? We finally need to get to a point of saying, how about instead of asking for something that we know we can't even go to the tax base to understand which trust fund it should come from or what tax it should be? Is it property tax? Is it sales tax? Where should the reparations come from? The businesses that benefited, Harvard, Georgetown, everybody who studied slavery, they should pay, but guess what? Where are you gonna get the money from? How are you gonna justify them doing it today? It ain't gonna happen, baby. Go find some new reparations. Go teach our kids how to read.
Right. In 1963.
Go ahead.
When Martin Luther King.
Go ahead. That's all we got.
Whitney Young,
That's all we got is Dr. King, man.
they marched for jobs and freedom.
And we still marching for jobs and freedom in 2025. Imagine that 60 years later.
To the tariff turmoil that
Imagine that. Since he pointed it out, I'm gonna clip this. Imagine you've been marching and protesting for justice, economic peace, for housing, for jobs, for 60 years. And for 60 years, Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton have led the charge, and guess what? They done put Ben Crump on the back of this shit. And hello, we've been talking about reparations now and affirmative action. Let's go. We need it. Government. And the Democrats didn't lose Congress till 1995, so that means that we could have worked with Democrats this whole time, but they promised us shit that they didn't give us. I think Malcolm X said something about this, but y'all do your research and go find it. But all put together, to be real, these niggas full of shit, bro. That's the easiest way I can say it. How can we have the same people leading a movement for 60 years and we're still talking about the same problem for 60 years? Hello? How do we have a problem for 60 years? Like, listen, we're talking about a generational curse. Al Sharpton is a generational curse on black people in America. We're talking about foundational black Americans, American descendants of slaves. Guess what? Al Sharpton is a generational curse keeping you from your reparations, because guess what? For 60 years, they've been teaching you the same shit. They've been marching these same blocks, and this ain't nothing new. No justice, no peace, ain't no nothing new. They've been saying the same shit since 1962. Let's go, man.
Ending number for blacks and Latinos. If you
Nothing prevents me from buying a house. I have a house. This is my office in the house that we built from the ground up.
Together we are larger as an economy than any country but China and the United States.
Who's lying, Chocolate? I appreciate you, James. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, man.
40% of all new mortgage originations will be from blacks.
Yeah. That's right. See, and I think it's different. Yeah, you know what the thing is? I was listening to. Hold on. Is this audio even on? Can y'all hear? Hold on. I thought y'all could hear. I think I have a problem here. Let me make sure my volume's right. I don't see nothing showing up on this shit. Hold on. Hold on. I have some technical difficulties. If y'all can't hear the people. Can't hear? All right, let me fix this. Hold on, my bad, y'all. Technical difficulties here. Technical difficulties here, people. My apologies there. I thought y'all could hear, but clearly y'all cannot. I could hear it fine though. That's the craziest shit. And I just saw the volume wasn't popping up on my shit. So let me delete this. Give me 1 second, y'all. Technical difficulties. It happens. It's technology still. Leave Windows 3. Properties. Oh shit. Y'all not seeing it on the vertical. That's a problem. I'm trying to fix it on my main canvas first. Still don't have volume. I think that's the wrong page. All right, I got some volume on one of these. Hold on, y'all. My bad, y'all. My apologies, chat. But luckily I caught that and didn't just keep talking, you feel me? Because do we have some audio here? No?
Affect the middle and poor class. People mourn how CEOs play musical.
We got volume now? Let me know in the chat if y'all got volume. It's working. Appreciate that. It was working? Well, shit, I didn't see any volume levels, so it kind of threw me off. Let me fix this up. My bad, y'all. Bro, hey, and to be fair, he ain't talking about shit. So it's not like we missed anything, right? He just, I want to know this brother say he a poverty pimp, but this brother ain't talking about a damn thing. So I've been hearing him, and I can tell you with faith, y'all ain't missed shit, okay? Let me just, no, don't tell me I got technical problems on. Hold on, now I gotta fix. I think my vertical should be straight. I think that's a YouTube problem.
Means around this country, we stand with our brothers and sisters today to say that what the Lord requires.
There we go. Appreciate y'all patience more than anything. Patience. That's what they said in what's that shit? Dream Girls? Was that it? Dream Girls. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Appreciate y'all patience while we work through the technical difficulties. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I used to just stop the whole stream and start it back up again. Are you a MAGA man? No, I'm not. I'm an American. I'm gonna just find a better connection here because I'm tired of this choppy kind of delay. Ruda's got going on the Reuters. No, I'm not MAGA. But I do realize that any black person. Let me try. I'll try to get a better connection. Let me just refresh this. My bad, y'all. There we go. One thing I did realize, right? As a black person, as a Democrat, right? I've elected Democrats to Congress. I'm a Democrat. And people are like, oh, the issue is this. I'm gonna mute this guy. He ain't talking about shit. I'm gonna make myself full screen. How about that? How about that? Because I got a message to say. The problem is, if you're black in America and you don't go with the train of bullshit that Democrats are going with, all of a sudden you're MAGA, right? If you don't attack Trump as racist, all of a sudden you're MAGA. You're in the middle, right? I'm a people person. I've been in customer service since I was 13 for what it is, right? I've been in politics for 15. But all put together, I'm not the emotionally charged person to be like, oh, Trump is the reason that my life's in shambles right now. No, he's not. I made decisions, right? For me and my family. And using the democratic values I believe in, I want government and my system to work a certain way. Like, you know what? I do not. My child is going to a school now. I don't feel as comfortable to be teaching sexuality in those schools. I don't think it's comfortable as a fan of women's basketball. You can ask anybody. I've had supported young women going to watch volleyball and basketball. Even when I lived in Tallahassee, we had some of the assistant coaches for Florida State women's basketball team. We used to go to the games and cheer them all. And I'm still friends with them today. And one of our friends, Natasha Howard, actually plays in WNBA today. So all put together, I'm not a MAGA person. I'm not I am a Democrat, but I'm not super believing the bullshit all Democrats say, because listen, it's about personal responsibility. Somebody said accountability. That's what it's about. I got to take care of my family. I have to take care of what ideals I believe in. And if I don't agree with some stuff that the Democrats are pushing, it's fine. But to my main point about women's sports, I was saying, it's all good till your daughter gets dunked on, right? But I don't believe that. I don't believe that born men should play in women's sports. I don't believe born women should play in men's sports. I have played competitively and fun, recreationally against women, basketball, things like that, golf. But boxing, basketball, tennis, shit like that, I don't agree with that. But that's not this story. That's not this stream. I'm gonna return to the video. I appreciate y'all. My bad, James. I appreciate you, James. Let me get back to the point. Stop lying, chocolate. I appreciate you, brother, for thinking I'm a Republican. Go ask the Republicans. Grinder ruined WNBA. Well, Natasha Howard is my homegirl. Natasha Howard's in the WNBA. She plays with Caitlin Clark, actually. How about that? And she been balling since Florida State. Chocolate. I ain't got nothing to prove to you, baby. I can show you my voter registration right now, and it'll show you I'm a Democrat. But I have so many revealing information on there that, you know what? Who do I have to prove it to? I know how I voted. I was texting Democrats yesterday, and I texted Republicans the day before. Sometimes, to be real, the bigger problem is sometimes people get so caught up in your party affiliation and that you can be unique in your thoughts and still be a Democrat and not be Uncle Tom or Republican that they just label you that. And it's black people. I don't give a shit.
Lord,
I don't give a shit. You here watching me. Think about this, Chocolate. Hold on, let me mute the pastor real quick. You're upset watching me calling me a Republican, but you're on your phone watching me. You haven't swiped away yet. Why don't you just keep swiping? Or why don't you subscribe or like or something else? Well, either way, you're wrong. I appreciate you though for tapping in. Let's get back to the pastor. I'm waiting for Big Al to show up.
Atlantic slave trade enterprise and to colonize continents to access their natural resources.
Real problem is the parties. Yes, it is.
Drove American companies.
We won't have that real conversation.
Factories overseas.
The problem is the parties.
Swelling their
The parties care so much about DC.
but damaging our
They care so much about DC. They let the state legislatures get redrawn.
Of our US cities.
They let the states basically be controlled. 23 Republican governors right now. So anything that we're doing to redistrict states, guess what? These 23 Republican governors are falling in line to do the shit to take hold. And Democrats can't do shit about it. I'm not saying it's right. I think it's totally wrong. No bullshit. I think that if, let me mute the pastor here, I guess. The shit they're doing in Texas, respectfully, right? I think it's totally wrong because if Democrats start doing it on the other side, right? They start winning as a result of this, it'll just be a pissing contest. To me, you can't change the rules in the ninth inning. The rules have been set. You have Congress. You have the Republicans in Congress to hold everything, right? But your Republicans don't want to support your agenda, so we're going to go vote for more Republicans in safer seats, right? And then they still don't, when they don't want to do exactly what it is, then who's going to be the problem in the issue? Jasmine Crockett is an issue. We have to be for real about what we're actually saying and doing in our communities. What we're actually saying is like, you know what, cool, if we redraw Texas, California going to redo it. And even though Republicans are picking up in some aspect in California, how does that help or hurt the population, right? Let me get back to the man and read through some of the chat. I appreciate y'all tapping in today, man.
Of 100 years
This is the first time.
segregation, inequality, injustice.
Sheila Young, I appreciate you. I appreciate you tapping in. Please make sure you like and subscribe.
50 years of the mass incarceration of blacks and people of color.
Yeah.
We must
Mortimer Duke, I agree with that.
for making profits be more important than people.
Y'all already lost. Came out your own. Yeah, Democrats already lost because they don't have a message, right? I think that, to be respectful, when it was before 1619 Project, I'm not anti 1619 Project, right? I actually support it. And 1717, I think there's both put together, give the foundation, but you have to start on where Americans got here and how it was formed there. I do agree with both perspectives. However, I never really agree with like and I'm going to say this, I'm not concerned, but I know how it's going to get intertwined, right? I never agree with the notion that, okay, all white people are racist, right? And all white people, because of slavery, are guilty of the crimes of slavery, right? Because some Germans, Russians, people who family immigrated over, they weren't here for that issue, right? And I never really agree with that single mentality of it. I do believe that people need to be taught about it, right? However, at the same time, I also felt and still feel that you can't blame the atrocities of the entire country at that time on every single person living today, just to be real. Yeah, 1776 is a black MAGA thing, I guess, if you want to say that. But I did say, Chocolate, if you listen, I support the 1619 Project. So I don't even know what you're saying. I at least know both. How about that?
How
do you?
To walk together unless they agree. And so we've come here today.
Massey, I hear you. I hear you.
Because there is.
Thank you. A little fit of fitness. Thank you. Not everyone is MAGA that has a different opinion. Thank you for that. I mean, you can look up, like, if you Google it, I'll Google it for you. I've been hired by Democrats. I work with Democrats. I am a Democrat. I just don't agree with the bullshit. And like family, like business, like anything in life, you can disagree with somebody and be disagreeable. Just don't call me the enemy. If you feel the Republican is the enemy, because all of a sudden it's, oh, Uncle Tom is this. And it gets to a point of saying like, damn, you can't be black and have a different opinion about shit. We foundational black Americans are so sensitive because they just want to be accepted by white folks. But that's a whole other conversation for another day. Maybe this stream today. You never know. I haven't been on for a while, so I might as well get it all out, right?
We've come to Wall Street today.
For what, Pastor?
Not to marvel at the wealth of Wall Street.
Okay, what is it then, sir?
But to confront its witness.
Okay, sir.
For too long, it stood as a monument to greed where record profits for corporations have meant record pain for our people.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you. I am a free-thinking individual, man.
The wealth gap in America is not an accident, but it's a design. This is simply not an economic issue.
What chocolate at, man?
Issue. Financial disparity is measured not only in dollars, but
no, chocolate. Actually, hold on. So, chocolate, I'm gonna pin this comment that you made. I love this because I want y'all to go on my social media and find this picture of me and my son. Let me pin this comment that chocolate put up. Hold on. I'm a black racist. That's crazy. These people, they be on people and they probably just a bot. Have you been with Trump at the White House? No, I have not been with Trump at the White House. I haven't even been to Mar-a-Lago. How about that? Right? How about this? Let me pin this message that chocolate put up, right? Let me mute the pastor for a second because they ain't talking about nothing. Oh, he already muted. Shit. Let me just go full face. Hold on.
From hearing from Martin Luther King Jr.
10 minutes away from hearing from Dr. King's son.
Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton.
And Dr. Sharpton. We got 10 minutes away. Y'all got 10 minutes to hear from me then. Until then, I'm gonna make sure we don't miss nothing. We're gonna hear the Reverend Al and we're gonna get to the White House soon because they got a press conference today, right? Cool. I'm gonna tell you like this. I have friends in the White House, right? They used to work for Biden and Kamala Harris. How about this? One of my good friends, Vince Evans, was working on the Joe Biden campaign to help him win South Carolina during the primary. How about this? He went to go work for Kamala Harris. Now he's the executive director of the Congressional Black Caucus. And guess what? My other homie used to be one of the top advisors to Vice President Kamala Harris. But guess what? I knew for a fact that Biden and Kamala weren't going to win re-election. You know why? The nation was just not at a point of saying, the economics of the world, everything else like that. If you can't answer where we are with, the economy's good, GDP's good, that doesn't have to do anything with the price of eggs and gas and all the rest of the shit, right? Cool. I said, you know what? Y'all in the White House. I have a son. How about this? I don't know when y'all going to get the White House back. Because Trump's coming in. I don't have enough contacts in Trump's cabinet or his team to get back on the White House. So guess what I want? I'm not asking to go to a CBC concert. I'm not asking for anything. What I want to do is have my son participate in the Easter egg roll on the White House lawn. And I had friends who were able to do that and help me get there, right? To have an experience that my son may not relive again in life unless he wins the White House. It is big POTUS for what it is, right? So respectfully, you could think, you in the White House with Trump. Oh, no. I went with my Democratic friends. And my Democratic friends that are working for the previous president who invited me after my ask, who welcomed me into the White House to have my son roll Easter eggs on the White House lawn with my homeboy, entertainer artist 3030 Black out of DC. So I hear what you're saying. I get the nonsense that people like to throw out there, right? However, I'm not that guy. Chocolate, make sure you like and subscribe, man.
Wall Street, that our government and our democracy is not for sale. When the Trump administration terminated its contract with the unionized workers, it terminated
its contract
with the American people. And we say no more.
And I'm giving them too much attention, Chocolate. If you haven't subscribed and you watching vertically on your phone, because I'm streaming to YouTube Shorts. So if you're on your phone, one of the 200, 300 people here, and you're sitting here on your phone like this, and you're like, damn, okay, like, this guy's MAGA. That's all you gotta do. Just swipe up. That's it.
They are the heroes.
But he loves it. That's why they're here. Keep boosting engagement.
And to the American people, not to Donald Trump and not to Wall Street. But brothers and sisters, let me make it clear.
And not doing shit.
AFGE is here to stay. AFGE is here to stay. The labor movement is here to stay. We're
Yeah, I
not
see
going to
that.
stop. We're not going to back down. They're not going to drown out our voices, not the voices of Americans that's rising up and saying we will not
Appreciate
take
you,
it
James.
anymore. Why? Because we are unbought, we are unbound, and we are unstoppable. Let me hear you say that. We are unbought. We are unbound.
Y'all all bought off though,
And
bro.
we are unstoppable.
Y'all ain't
When
showing
the
up for this shit
people,
for free?
We, the people, get together.
You know how many
there is
pastors get paid
nothing
for a
that can
revival?
stop
Fuck
us.
out of here. Y'all ain't showing up for free?
Keep on marching. Keep on praying. And let's get this work done. Because I believe that the word of God says, what shall we say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us?
How many years are we gonna keep saying that?
Unbound.
It's a reminder.
Unbound.
But it can't be for every protest and every march, man. What the fuck?
God bless you and God keep you. Thank you. Thank you.
Let us welcome the President of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Lee Saunders.
Good afternoon, everybody. Now we can do better than that. Good afternoon, everybody. Now I've got
Bro,
a
look like he's
question
struggling
for
to
you.
stand up out there, bro.
Is labor in this house?
What?
Is labor in this house?
Labor Flav?
Ashley is in this house.
Hey, thank you, Mortimer Dude. Please make sure you like and subscribe, man.
Demanding justice. If you're demanding accountability. If you're demanding
James,
a
you
fair
right.
shake in this economy.
You right, James. I apologize. I apologize there. You're right. I didn't like his comment, but it's from the word of God. You're right. But for this situation, I don't like the fact of us always having to go to the same scriptures for every protest since 1960 and before. That's all it is. I appreciate you though. You're right.
The country providing essential public services to our citizens. We are proud. We're proud of what we do. And we are proud to be a part of a labor movement that has, throughout history, made our workplaces safer, our economy fairer, and our democracy stronger. So if you support the power of workers coming together in their union to improve their lives, if you support
Have you noticed
freedom to form a union, let me hear you.
that none of these speakers are young?
Let me hear you.
I don't think there's been a speaker on stage that's under the age of 30. 45, if anything, to be
They
real.
marked 62 years since
It's a disconnect.
the March on Washington when Dr. King
The biggest
shared
disconnect
his
is
powerful dream.
we only have Dr. King to rely on. Let me mute Buddy for a second. It's like the only thing we can rely on for 60 years is the march and path and the direction of Dr. King. But when we look at his dream and Dr. King's dream and what he wanted in life, we haven't even kept the march going. We stopped. We stopped until we got a birthday. Now we have a birthday in the 80s, and it's like that's what we celebrate is his past. But we're not looking at, okay, how do we make sure that the jobs, the poor people's movement, the poor people's campaign, Dr. King's last campaign, how do we make sure that we're still not arguing about the same issues 60 years later? To make sure that housing, police, jobs, wages, education, these things aren't there. That prison isn't the only pathway for people who just can't find a way out of the hood. And it's not a black issue; it's a poverty issue. And that's the thing that he even saw. Even Fred Hampton, when they had their movement, it wasn't about black or white; it was about poor people. Because we realized that if the poor people round up together, we can do this. And now all of a sudden, we have this older generation of people who are made it because they're not getting people off the street to come talk about the issues that are impacting them. They're getting everyday people who have titles and executive people who've flown private or commercial or first class who have to sign autographs when they're going through the airport or get praised for what they do. They're the people that you have to go out here and get this come speak, because guess what? You can't fulfill the dream. You realize that you dropped the ball on fulfilling Dr. King's dream, so all you can do is placate the bullshit, and that's why you have Ben Crump coming up here early talking about some Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and Alton Sterling, and all these different things when we talk about economic development in the community. I guess if the economics were better for these people, they wouldn't have been in that situation. I guess that's the interpretation he's trying to get across, but it didn't get interpreted that way to me. The only thing I saw was a poverty pimping in you, my boy. But guess what? Regardless of it, we need younger people out here leading the charge, because right now you have all these older people who are just talking, but they don't look like me. They don't talk like me. They don't act like me. So why would I even trust their opinion on how to fix this issue? They've been doing it for 60 years and can't even fix the shit. So why would I even give them energy? I don't know. Make sure y'all like and subscribe for more.
Is bankrupt. I bet all of us here today agree in a nation as wealthy as the United States of America, we can afford to ensure that no one goes hungry.
No, Jonathan, you have to understand what I'm saying. John Anthony, someone doesn't have to be my age for me to listen to them. What I'm saying is what these gentlemen are saying relates to a community of people that cared about these issues. But for a younger generation, I just turned 40 on Monday, right? For people 30, 20, or even these young 18s, or even these YNs out here in these streets, what are you saying that connects to them about economics? Because right now you're talking about housing and all these different things, education, jobs, whatever they could be going on Wall Street talking about. But you're not saying anything to these YNs out here in the streets that make them want to believe, because maybe they're not believing in home ownership. But what can you say to them at the stage they're at right now to make them believe? Are you working at the grocery store? Well, guess what? You want to own your own business. Maybe you want to be a vendor to the store to sell your own shit, right? Maybe you want to put your own store on, just own stuff on the shelves. You're not saying anything to plant a seed in the young minds. All you're doing is saying the same thing you said from old times. I don't mean to rhyme, but I'm just saying that it gets to a point of saying, how do we get collectively messaging that relates, that isn't just, oh, look at the racism, look at the redlining, look at what this government had done to us, because these YouTube babies, people that have grown up past 2000, past Y2K, past 2020, 2005, and I'll say, give them at least 20 years. They don't care about the same things people in the 80s babies care about, right? I'm at a stage where I care about my son's future, my family, protecting my household and things like that. These other generation of kids, they may not be there, so we have to relate to where they are to make them care. That's all I'm trying to say. They don't have to be my age. But what I'm saying is we have to make it relatable to the age brackets.
Collectively, must march.
But I appreciate you commenting too, John. I really do appreciate that.
Specifically rewritten, we all must march. Now, my union is proud to stand with all of you. And we are proud to be a part of this fight. This is what
I think, Mike, it's a conflated issue, right? And Mike, to your question, why are they complaining about the education in all schools in this country? That's not the hot button issue. Because the black people on this stage, it's like the black people in most communities, or not even black, people in the communities who have to put their kids in poor schools, right? They realize that everybody on the stage can afford to put their kids in a quality education, public-private system they are. They don't care about that, right? And they also realize that it's easier to complain about the problem than go fix the problem, because they don't want to deal with these young kids. That's why, again, they're going to march and protest here. They're going to tell you about the economic development, the school to prison pipeline, about all the things that lead to financial freedom and wealth in American history, right? But they're not going to take the same energy to go teach none of those kids in Brooklyn, none of those kids in Harlem, none of those kids in Manhattan. Well, not Manhattan, they probably got it right. No other borough in New York. They're not going to Queens or Long Island to teach those kids shit. What they're going to do is say, you know what? The problem is Ron DeSantis. The problem is Donald Trump. The problem is racism. But that doesn't relate to a motherfucker who's trying to read, who's just trying to do better than the generation before them. That's all it is. I'm going to let Ebony talk, though.
Ranking woman appointed in this organization in its history. But
I appreciate y'all, though.
Here for myself. I stand here with the women.
Let me get some more water. I've been talking a lot.
Our chapter leaders, our members across this nation who power this movement forward. And with that same spirit, where are the women of NAN? Are you here? I don't hear you. Let them know the work you do. And within that same spirit of women's leadership, I have the honor to introduce our Vice Chair of the Board of Directors, Jennifer Jones Austin, who is the CEO of the Federation of Protestant Welfare Agencies, one of the most respected anti-poverty and advocacy organizations. For more than 20 years, she's fought to dismantle inequity and to advance justice.
I do think the youth are leaving the Democratic Party. I think the youth are leaving all parties. And honestly, that they've been leaving parties longer than people have been paying attention, to be honest. And this younger generation is not focused on Democrats. They're not focused on Republicans. They're focused on what's in it for me. They're more people focused. So let's get to this next speaker. She had a great introduction from what I saw, but let's see what she has to say.
In 1963,
oh shit, come on.
Washington for jobs and freedom. Today, we march on Wall Street for jobs and freedom. In 1963, we went to the epicenter of government and decision making. Today, we come to the epicenter of business and deal making.
To do what?
In 1963, we marched for equality. Today, we march for equity.
What the?
Since Donald Trump was elected, companies that live and die by the valuation of their Wall Street stock prices have abandoned their DEI efforts. Big corporations that greatly benefit from just under $2 trillion in black purchasing power. Wall Street companies play a critical role in our nation's economy, accounting for millions of jobs and trillions in goods and services. In other words, they have the power to push back against efforts aimed at cutting off our ability to survive and to thrive. Reverend Sharpton and Martin Luther King III have summoned us here today to say to corporate America, don't be fooled. Roll back DEI and reduce productivity and innovation. Reverse employment gains for marginalized communities.
Go ahead.
And not only will people suffer,
Go ahead.
our economy and you too will suffer.
I'm gonna pause off for 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna pause off for 1 second because I want to show something, because I know that the focus is Target, all right? And I want to show this real quick for my people. Now, this is TradingView, people that are out there, right? And what I want to show here, this is Target stock, right? This is Target stock that I'm showing. And you can see a decline is happening, right? This is focus on Target. We're gonna get back to it. As you see, this is January 2023, right? There was a drop here, January 2023. You know why that Target price dropped? Because there was a protest on all the LGBTQ and unisex clothing they had in Target. So Target's price started to drop, right? Then guess what? September 23, it gapped up. It started coming back. Okay, Target's back. Boom. This is April 2024. Target's price has been on the decline since April 2024, before Donald Trump won, before DEI was removed. And we're focused on Wall Street, right? We're focused on Wall Street. This is Target stock price, right? As you see, this is April 2024. This is November 2024. This is the price point, $159.28. That was the high before it dropped. January 2025, around $145. It hasn't been that high since. This is the DEI movement. This has been the DEI protest, the Jamal Bryant protest. Bomb. I'm not saying it hasn't been effective. I think the protest has been effective. I changed my tune on that to an extent, right? But Target's price has declined overall since April 2024. Maybe it's a retail thing as well, on top of DEI. On top of it, to be real, none of this still teaches our kids how to read.
And risk your
Let's be for real about it.
And shareholder returns.
Thank y'all for tapping into this stream.
Doesn't lie. Only when all people thrive will business, the economy, and this nation thrive. Thank you.
Yeah, she was worth the pause. That speech wasn't worth it. I'll be real with you. I won't even hold you on that, dog. These speeches have not been up to par for me.
Family. My name is the Reverend Malcolm Byrd, Chief Operating Officer of the National Action Network.
Go ahead, sir.
And it is my distinct pleasure to present to you the Chair of the National Board of Directors of the National Action Network.
The top pimp himself.
The Reverend Dr. W. Franklin
Pimp,
Richardson.
pimp.
Let's show him some love.
How many pimp, pimp? Oh, this ain't the one. This ain't the Rev I thought they were talking to. My bad. This ain't the one.
What a powerful sight. What a powerful moment. We have come here today to let the world know that we are not asleep, that we're ready to move and challenge the status quo so that the work of our forefathers and mothers, sacrifices that they've made, will not be lost and will not be set back. We are determined to go forward. I'm grateful to greet you as chairman of the National Action Network, and I want to pause to celebrate. You can't hear me? The siren.
Equity wasn't a trigger word.
They're not coming for anybody in this crowd, right?
I saw Cannon said that earlier.
But I really want to to say.
Oh, equity wasn't the trigger word. It's a fact of equity is what Dr. King was talking about 60 years ago. So we're still looking for the same equity. And you know, and I know, if you're waiting on an investment to gain any kind of equity for 60 years and it's still talking about the equity we're looking to gain, that we ain't gaining shit. That's what I'm saying. And we have made gains, but not the gains that deal with underlying issues that still plague foundational Black Americans and American descendants of slaves in America today. Since I label it that way.
Of the National Action Network. We have come today from the District of Columbia to the District of Finance, because we recognize that both of these districts determine the quality of life that we are seeking in this nation. And without a consciousness, we cannot do all of our fighting in the capital. We must do our fighting in this financial district and in financial districts across America.
What?
Because we know that at the end of the day, the people who are making decisions behind the closet doors are making those decisions based on what is good for them. And when they see us stand up and say, we're not going to take it anymore.
What do they do?
We know the connection between the
what do they do?
The capital, the nation's capital, and the financial capital here in New York.
They laugh at your ass because you don't even have an answer to that.
So today we made the link. We've made the link. And we've got to
Hey,
go
Steve.
back now into our communities and let our dollars speak for our interests.
Yeah. He's not yelling.
Let us spend our money for the things that are with us. Let us spend our money with people who are sensitive to our challenge and to our plight. We must challenge corporate America, and we must challenge the Congress of the United States of America. And as well, we must challenge those who provide leadership. It's my privilege, therefore, to welcome you here today and to thank you for coming and to stay tuned, because there's much that we have to do. I want to take this opportunity now to present our wonderful icons.
Here we go.
Of justice, born out of the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Sometimes I want to know. I want to be for real. Did Dr. King really fuck with all y'all for real? Did y'all just, is that the homie that passed away that y'all just been running his legacy into the ground? Because if y'all really fuck with him, why y'all let the ball drop on his legacy of building equity for Black people in America, dog? This isn't what he was talking about. The Poor People's Campaign, his last campaign, is exactly what y'all talking about today, but it shouldn't take 60 years to get to this point. And we kind of realized, because Dr. King realized that the protest could only do so much, that we have to be involved. We got to be in the boardroom. We got to be in the Congress room, writing the legislation, not just arguing and demanding shit without a solution. And that's the problem when we have poverty pimps like Al Sharpton and them leading the charge, because guess what? You're leading people with no solution. And it's sickening after 60 years.
As chairman of the John Major Institute, and Andrea Waters King, president of that institute. Let's celebrate them and acknowledge them as they come.
Oh, this is Dr. King III. Oh. You can't live off your daddy's legacy forever, though.
Good afternoon.
Oh, wait a minute. Reuters cut the stream? That wasn't me, y'all. Reuters cut the stream, y'all. Hold on. Reuters said they ain't trying to hit the rest of this. Hold on, we gotta find out something. Thought it was some jazz. Hold on, can you believe that? Can y'all believe they cut off Al Sharpton now? Before he even got on stage? We gotta go to the National Action Network. Their quality is some shit over here. Oh my God.
That would rather rule by division than govern with dignity.
Why Reuters look so much better?
Honor and the remembrance of Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King.
All that money they're giving National Action Network and Al Sharpton, they can't get no better lenses for them cameras?
Who said that when I despair, I remember that all through history,
I'm working off a webcam. I should look better than that. That's crazy.
Love have always won.
A Walmart webcam too. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, man. Follow me on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Hip Hop Lobbyists, every gaming or every social media platform.
Think of it always. So yes.
rise.
Royals
Yes,
wasn't
the
playing
night
that
grows
shit.
long, but morning is always
I get the
on
power of the
side
dollar.
the righteous. We must never
Well,
forget
Cannon, I
that
mean,
truth,
power per everyone can have an effect. No need for money. You're right. Then don't go marching on Wall Street if it ain't about the money. I just don't think that you're effective marching on Wall Street when you're not really like pulling back the drapes of the real shit, right? You're not going in these banks and negotiating shit to say, hey, we're going to go in and get $2 trillion of loans for underserved communities, because it's not black communities, underserved communities, right? You're not saying that. You're not doing anything to again educate kids. All it is have you noticed? Everybody's going back to Dr. King. Everybody's going back to 1963. We are in 2025. What have you done for me lately? If you talk about some shit that happened before Y2K, I don't want to hear about it. If you talk about some shit that happened before Barack Obama's second term ended, I don't want to hear about it. What have you done for me lately? That's what people voting on. They're not voting on. Nobody's voting on. Some people. Nobody's voting on what happened with Dr. King in 1963. They worried about what have you done for me today, 2025. And the fact that we have black leaders still focused on 1963 and Dr. King is a problem to me.
Democracy.
People do get out of power to become Republicans. You're right, because they realize that they don't want to give all their money back to social programs. Because they saw that some of the social programs did not help their community.
It is every hand raised in protest, every vote cast in hope, every truth.
I have mentors that work with Al Sharpton. How about that? And I be attacking Al Sharpton like, bruh, I do not vibe with this shit. And they launching podcasts, doing books, all type of shit. But I don't have a problem with it. It's great to get out there, right? Build a foundation. But at the same time, you got to call a spade, man. Because if my thing is, if Dr. King's dream was y'all focus since the 60s, third grade literacy rates for black children, foundational black Americans, American descendants of slaves, would not be an issue in America. And I'm saying it that way because they say Caribbean Americans and Africans from Africa read better than foundational black Americans. I don't have the statistics because they all group us in together as black. So whatever we gain collectively is there, but we just need to make sure that our foundational black Americans, American descendants of slaves can read. Because you got to be able to read the mortgage.
Good afternoon.
Know what you're paying for, right? Read the numbers. You can't read, how you going to build economics? How you going to build wealth? How you going to be a Republican and get rich? Or a Democrat and be rich?
And as Dick Gregory, the late Dick Gregory used to say, I hope and pray that our returns back to our destination will be equally as safe. 62 years ago, as has been said over and over today, my father stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and shared his vision for our nation and world. I want to start by saying some have tried to continue the work that he and his team began.
Oh, see, yeah. He even know not everybody.
The National Action
Some of y'all been bullshitting. Power pimping.
For convening us today on Wall Street, which is where businesses are made and trillions of dollars are made.
Tim, buddy. Yes, sir. You know
now,
what
my
the ranch
father
is?
said
Ranch, like
in 1963
salad ranch,
that he
when I first started,
out a check that had been prepared and sent to the National Treasury. And that check was to give us the riches of freedom and justice, health care, and so many other things. And at that time, he said, that check came back marked insufficient funds. But he went on to say that I know the Treasury is not bankrupt. And although they're telling us today, oh, we're running a deficit, but yet billionaires have quadrupled their money. And in a real sense, we must create the climate where people truly can raise themselves by their own bootstraps.
That's right.
But you can't say to a bootless person, raise up by your own bootstraps. We must create that climate, that economic climate, where housing is affordable. That climate where health care is available for all. That climate where the greatest education that anyone can get exists. Guess what? That is here in the United States. That's not saying that we're better than anybody else. But yet, many of our folks, young folk, are not able to read. Something is wrong with this nation.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. See. Wait a minute, Dr. King Jr. the third. When did it become the government's responsibility to help our kids learn to read? Hello? I read to my son every night. I commit to that. My wife and I are committed to that. I think that education starts at the home. And if we're going to sit there and blame the government, we have to also blame ourselves for our kids not being able to learn to read or not being proficient in reading. I know, I would say for a fact, that most communities on the weekend aren't going to spend their weekends saying, hey, let's go be the next football star, basketball star, baseball star to get out of poverty. What they're saying is, hey, let's go learn to read. We're going to have tutoring. We're going to have sessions where you're going to be the best and the brightest. Because I talked to a friend of mine who is black, who has African lineage. And we were having this conversation the other day about education. And he said that, I don't want to say too much. He said that some of his people were like, you know what? Why do you care so much about education? Because when the kids are with me, they chilling. When they with you, they doing worksheets. And they're like, well, shit, why is education so big for Africans? He said, well, shit, education is big for Asians. Education is big for Europeans. Education is big in every other culture, but in foundational black Americans, American descendants of slaves, education isn't a priority. And our leaders, our poverty pimpers, our Dr. King Jr., the third son, is out here telling us about education, telling us about an economic development protest that happened 60 years after his father's protest. But they're not going to these schools to teach these kids how to read. That's the problem. It starts at home. It starts at you going to make the effort when you know these kids' parents are working 2 or 3 jobs. Like, you know what? I may not know Lil Riley's parents, but I met Riley today and I read to him for 2 or 3 hours and we bonded. And you know what? Next time I come to New York, I'm going to go check up on Riley and I'm going to do it again. And guess what? I'll be here next 2 weeks. I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to bring the same 1,000 people that we brought on this protest to talk about economic development and injustice. Guess what? We have 1,000 kids in New York who don't know how to read on that grade level. And we're going to go out and we're going to show them that we care about them by showing up. And then the parents are going to be like, wait a minute, you invested in my child? By stepping up and doing something that I wasn't physically able to do? You took the time to invest in my child and do what I want to do, and you helped nudge them a bit more to where they want to go. The problem is, for 60 years, we've been hoping that the government would help educate our kids, the foundation of black Americans, the American descendants of slaves. And we asked for reparations. We asked for a better education system because here's how they played it. If you don't know, pay attention to the game, right? The charter school issue wasn't this is what we care about. It was, Democrats think that the best solution for your child's education is to send them to the public school that they're defunding. This is when Democrats had control, state legislatures and, in Congress type shit. And then they basically, black woman, mother said, you know what? I care more about my child's education because I realized that the dream that Dr. King had allows my son to go or my daughter to go to school with other races, other people mixed in together, but it also opened opportunity for me to make sure that my child is on par with the rest of these kids and above and beyond. So guess what? If you're going to fail these public schools, I'm going to send my kid to a charter school. And guess what? The charter school may be a better environment for my kid than it was because they came out, now they're a professor, now they're a teacher, now they have a college education because I decided to make that investment in their education. I didn't wait for the government to give me a handout. I didn't wait for the government to come on back and say, hey, black people that we enslaved, here's your education that we robbed you for 400 years. That's not going to happen. I know I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking all over, right? I'm speaking the words. I'm reading the words as I'm freestyling this. But to the point, if we're talking about reading gains, economic development, 60 years after the Poor People's Campaign, they're talking about the same thing these people are talking about today. Then all these leaders have lost and failed us. Dr. King, Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, every single one of y'all that's on TV every day talking about the same shit. Michael Thesaurus Eric Dyson. These brothers have failed our community because they would rather you run your blood pressure up and hate Trump and hate these people, hate every Republican, hate every white person. Because I'm almost like Malcolm X, I'm almost a black nationalist. Go back and look it up if you don't know what it is. But at the same time, these leaders that we've had have been robbing us blind. Because they would rather say, you know what? I'm a pastor, Reverend Al Sharpton. I have my church. I may or may not preach at every Sunday, but guess what? I know there are only 5 kids in my church that can afford to read the Easter program, the Christmas program, or the greeting without embarrassing my church. And I would rather point my finger at the white man and the government and Donald Trump as the problem instead of saying, you know what, shit,